In a world filled with noise, deadlines, and distraction, many people silently ask themselves, where do I find real peace? Not just a moment of calm, not just a break from chaos, but deep, lasting peace, the kind that stays even when life doesn't go your way. For over 2,500 years, Buddhism has offered simple and profound answers to that question. You don't need to become a monk. You don't need to believe in anything supernatural. You just need to practice awareness and let go of what no longer serves your heart. This video will guide you through 7 Buddhist techniques that bring inner peace into your everyday life. They are ancient, yet deeply relevant, practical but also transformative. From mindful breathing to loving kindness, these tools are meant to reconnect you with what matters most: your breath, your body, your awareness, your true self. If you've been feeling overwhelmed, disconnected, or emotionally drained, stay with me. By the end of this video, you'll have not only techniques, but a path. Because peace isn't something we find by accident. It's something we return to, moment by moment, breath by breath. What if I told you that the gateway to your peace is already with you, always, quiet, unnoticed, and taken for granted? The breath. The simple act of breathing is more than a biological function in Buddhism. It's a sacred doorway to presence, to stillness, to healing. And the technique known as anapanasati, or mindful breathing, is not just a meditation. It's a return to your true self. You don't need a quiet room or special equipment to begin. You just need your breath, your attention, and a few moments of stillness. Sit comfortably, close your eyes if you like, and gently bring your awareness to your inhale and exhale. Don't try to manipulate the breath. Let it flow naturally. Simply observe how it enters your nostrils, how it expands your chest, how it leaves your body. This is not about doing, it's about noticing. And in that noticing, something beautiful happens. You come home. Most people spend their lives pulled in 100 directions. Work, notifications, noise, pressure. But none of that exists in the breath. The breath doesn't care about your deadlines. It doesn't judge your past. And when you place your full awareness on it, even for just 1 minute, you create a sacred pause. In that pause, anxiety softens, fear fades, and your nervous system begins to settle. You didn't escape life. You return to it. The Buddha himself taught anapanasati as a complete path to liberation. He knew that when the breath becomes your anchor, the mind starts to quiet. When the mind quiets, the heart begins to open. And when the heart opens, suffering finds no place to hide. This is why monks return to the breath day after day. Not to escape, but to see clearly. To center themselves in a world that constantly tries to pull us off balance. Mindful breathing also transforms how you experience your daily life. Imagine standing in a long line, feeling impatience rise. What if, instead of feeding that frustration, you turned inward? 1 breath in, 1 breath out. You feel your feet on the ground. You feel the coolness of the air. And suddenly you're not stuck anymore. You're simply there, awake, peaceful. The moment is no longer a problem. It's just a moment. And you're free inside it. Practice this anywhere. In traffic, at your desk, in the middle of an argument. No one even has to know you're doing it. Just return to your breath. It's always available. It never abandons you. And each time you return to it, you train your mind to come back to the present. Not to escape reality, but to meet it with calm and clarity. Anapanasati isn't a trick. It's a remembering. A remembering that peace was never something outside of you. It's been with you all along, breathing silently beneath the noise, waiting for you to notice. Most people walk to get somewhere. From the car to the office, from the grocery store to the couch, from one task to the next. We walk fast, distracted, often with our heads full of thoughts we don't even realize we're having. But in Buddhism, walking isn't always about movement. It's about awakening. It's about returning to the present moment with each step. This is the heart of walking meditation, or kinhin. Walking meditation is simple but powerful. You don't need a forest or a temple. You just need your feet and your awareness. Start by standing still. Feel the soles of your feet on the ground. Take a slow, mindful breath. As you begin walking, pay full attention to the movement. Heel touches first, then the ball of the foot, then the toes. Notice the shifting of weight from one leg to the other. Your body is not just moving, it's arriving. Each step becomes a message to your nervous system. You are safe. You are present. You are here. You may be walking through your home, a hallway, a garden, or even a grocery store parking lot. It doesn't matter. What matters is how you walk. If your mind wanders, gently bring it back to the feeling of your feet on the ground. No judgment. Just return again and again. In Buddhist monasteries, walking meditation is often practiced between periods of seated meditation. Monks will walk slowly, in silence, back and forth, each step like a prayer. They aren't walking to achieve anything. They're walking to become deeply awake to what's already here. And this is something you can bring into your own life. Whether you're walking your dog, heading to work, or pacing during a phone call, your steps can become sacred. There is something deeply healing about returning to the body. When anxiety or overthinking dominates the mind, your awareness moves up, into the head, into thoughts, into spirals. But walking meditation gently brings you down, into the body, into the earth, into the now. You begin to feel your heartbeat. You hear the wind again. You notice the color of the sky. You're not rushing through life anymore. You're experiencing it. If you've been feeling disconnected from yourself lately, try walking for 5 minutes in silence. Leave your phone behind. No music. No destination. Just walk slowly and notice your breath and steps. The slower you go, the more your awareness expands. You'll be surprised how much peace hides in plain sight, just beneath your feet. Walking meditation reminds us, peace isn't just something we sit down and wait for. It's something we step into, one conscious movement at a time. If your heart feels heavy, if you carry resentment, guilt, loneliness, or emotional exhaustion, there's a practice in Buddhism that was designed exactly for that. It's called Metta Bhavana, or loving-kindness meditation. It might sound soft. It might even feel awkward at first. But it's one of the most powerful tools ever created to transform your emotional life. Not by avoiding pain, but by embracing love, first toward yourself, then toward others. The practice begins simply. Sit quietly. Close your eyes. Take a deep breath. Then, silently repeat the phrases, "May I be happy. May I be safe. May I be at peace." Say them slowly, with intention. You don't need to believe them right away. You just need to offer them, like planting seeds. You're not waiting for the emotion to arrive. You're training your heart to remember what it's capable of. Even if you feel broken, you still deserve love. Especially then. Once you've directed those phrases toward yourself, you begin to extend them outward. First to someone you love. Then to someone neutral. Then, most challengingly, to someone who has hurt you. You don't need to justify their actions. You're not condoning harm. You're choosing not to be consumed by hatred. You say, "May you be happy. May you be free." And in doing so, you begin to heal yourself. Metta is more than words. Over time, it shifts your default emotional state. Neuroscience now confirms what Buddhism has taught for centuries. Regular practice of loving-kindness physically changes your brain. It strengthens areas related to empathy, emotional regulation, and resilience. You become less reactive, less judgmental, more open, more kind, not only to others, but to your own thoughts, flaws, and wounds. You'll notice subtle changes in how you respond to stress and conflict. Someone cuts you off in traffic, and instead of boiling over, you feel a moment of space. Your partner says something sharp, and instead of lashing out, you pause, breathe, and speak from calm. Metta gives you this grace. It teaches your heart to soften, not shrink. It shows you that true strength doesn't live in defense, but in presence. And the beauty of Metta is that you can do it anywhere. Before you fall asleep, during your morning coffee, even while standing in line. You can send kindness to a friend, a stranger, a whole city, even the world. Each time you do, you change the emotional tone of your day. You become a little more compassionate, a little more peaceful, a little more free. Loving-kindness meditation isn't sentimental. It's revolutionary. In a world where people protect themselves with indifference and anger, choosing love, again and again, is an act of courage. It's how you begin to live not just a spiritual life, but a deeply human one. One of the deepest sources of suffering in human life is the belief that things must go a certain way for us to be happy. That a relationship must last, that a goal must be reached, that life must unfold on our terms. But Buddhism offers a radically different path to peace, one that doesn't require the world to cooperate with our plans. It's the path of non-attachment, or upekkha, which means equanimity in the face of change. Not giving up, letting go. Not being cold, being free. In Buddhism, attachment isn't about love. It's about clinging. Wanting something so badly that your happiness depends on it. And the problem with clinging is that life doesn't promise us guarantees. People leave. Plans fall apart. Emotions shift. So the more you cling, the more you suffer. Non-attachment says, do your best. Love deeply. Give fully. But don't tie your peace to the result. Think about a job interview. You prepare, you dress well, you speak with confidence. But once it's over, you let it go. You don't obsess over the outcome or replay every word. That's non-attachment. You did what you could. Now life will do what it will. You meet it with calm, not control. And this mindset can be brought into relationships, dreams, even healing. You can care deeply without being consumed. You can love someone without needing them to act a certain way. You can pursue your purpose without making success your identity. That's not weakness. That's emotional mastery. You become steady, not because life is easy, but because you're not gripping so hard. You stop needing everything to go right just to feel peace. This doesn't mean you detach from life or become passive. It means you release the illusion that you can control everything. And in that release, a new kind of peace emerges. It's quieter, lighter. You're no longer riding the roller coaster of every outcome. You're walking your path, moment by moment, with inner balance. And that balance becomes your strength. Non-attachment also heals relationships. It removes the pressure we put on people to make us feel okay. It allows others to be themselves, and us to love them without fear. Because peace doesn't come from holding on tighter. It comes from knowing you'll be okay, even if things change. That's when you stop needing life to work in order to feel whole. You already are whole. In the end, non-attachment is not about being indifferent. It's about loving without chains, acting without expectation, living without fear. And when you start walking this path, you'll realize you don't have to control the wind. You just have to learn how to breathe in the storm. Everything changes. Every season, every emotion, every relationship, every breath. Yet most of our suffering comes from pretending that things can stay the same. We hold on to people as if they'll never leave. We resist aging, endings, silence, and loss. But in Buddhism, impermanence, known as anicca, isn't something to fear. It's the very key to inner peace. When the Buddha taught that all things are impermanent, he wasn't trying to be pessimistic. He was pointing to a liberating truth, that no pain lasts forever. That joy, too, will pass, but that makes it more beautiful, not less. Just like cherry blossoms bloom and fall, so do our experiences. And when you stop clinging, you start seeing. You begin to appreciate life not because it's permanent, but because it's precious. Because every moment is unrepeatable. Think of your emotions. You feel anxiety, and it feels like it will never leave. But it does. Sadness rises, and eventually fades. Joy visits you unexpectedly, and then it goes. Everything flows. Everything moves. And when you accept this, you suffer less. Because you stop trying to freeze what was never meant to stay still. Impermanence also teaches gratitude. When you know something won't last, you cherish it more. You hold hands longer. You say, I love you more freely. You take fewer things for granted. Even something as small as sunlight on your face feels sacred, because you realize this exact moment will never happen again. That awareness makes the ordinary radiant. In Western culture, we're taught to resist change, to preserve youth, to deny death, to chase stability. But Buddhism invites us to lean into change, to welcome it as part of the dance of life. Just like waves rise and fall, so will your seasons. And trying to stop them will only exhaust you. But flowing with them? That brings peace. Not a numb peace, but a living, breathing surrender. Embracing impermanence doesn't mean giving up on joy. It means allowing joy to come and go without panic. It means trusting that even after the darkest night, morning will return. It means remembering that you, too, are part of this rhythm. Your pain will pass. Your confusion will pass. What remains is the awareness that watched it all. That's where your peace lives, not in control, but in presence. So when something ends, don't run. When life changes, don't panic. Just breathe. You're not being punished. You're being reminded. Nothing lasts. And because of that, everything matters. What if you didn't have to fix every thought that appeared in your mind? What if you didn't need to push away every uncomfortable feeling or chase every pleasant one? What if you could simply watch and allow? This is the essence of Vipassana, the Buddhist practice of deep, non-judgmental observation. It's not about solving your problems. It's about seeing them clearly, without reacting, without clinging, without fear. And in that clarity, something incredible happens. Peace is born. Vipassana means to see things as they really are. It trains you to become the witness, not the prisoner, of your thoughts. You sit still, you close your eyes, and you notice. A thought arises, I'm not good enough. Instead of believing it, you say, there is a thought. You don't fight it. You don't feed it. You let it pass, like a cloud across the sky. Most of us are conditioned to judge everything we feel. If we're sad, we think we've failed. If we're angry, we feel guilty. If we're anxious, we panic. But in Vipassana, there is no good or bad experience, only impermanent sensations. You don't identify with the mind's noise. You observe it, and remember that you are not it. This practice is like mental detox. Instead of being hijacked by every emotion, you begin to notice their patterns. You see how anger starts in the chest, how fear tightens your stomach, how joy feels like warmth in your face. You begin to experience emotions as energy, passing, shifting, dissolving. And this awareness gives you space. With space comes freedom. You no longer lash out just because anger appears. You don't spiral into shame because a sad memory arises. You don't chase pleasure to escape discomfort. You simply watch. And through watching, you stop reacting. That pause between stimulus and response, that is where peace lives. Vipassana doesn't promise to remove all pain. It teaches you how to sit with it without adding extra suffering. It teaches you to stop fighting reality. Because what you resist persists. But what you observe begins to transform. You don't suppress your truth, you hold it with compassion. And in that holding, healing begins. You can practice this daily, even for 10 minutes. Sit, breathe, and notice whatever arises. A thought, a tension, an itch, an image, just watch. Let your mind be what it is without controlling it. Let your body speak without interrupting. You're not here to judge or escape. You're here to witness, gently, bravely, with presence. Vipassana reveals something profound. You are not your thoughts. You are not your emotions. You are the awareness behind them. And when you live from that awareness, you stop fighting life. You start understanding it. We live in a world that never stops talking. Every day, we're bombarded by opinions, updates, ads, advice, and noise. And we contribute to it too, explaining ourselves, defending, reacting, filling every pause with sound. But in Buddhism, there is a practice that goes beyond speech. It's called noble silence, and it's not just about staying quiet. It's about listening deeply, not to others, but to yourself. And what you hear in that stillness can change everything. Noble silence means more than not speaking. It's the intentional act of withdrawing from unnecessary words, arguments, and noise. It's the sacred space where your ego steps back and your awareness steps forward. In silence, you hear your thoughts more clearly, but without judgment. You start to notice what's always been underneath the surface: longing, fear, truth, presence. It's not about muting your life. It's about tuning into the frequency of your soul. Many Buddhist retreats begin with days of complete silence. No phones, no books, no conversation. Because when you remove outer distraction, the inner world rises to meet you. And at first, it can be uncomfortable. You may notice restlessness, boredom, even anxiety. But if you stay, if you breathe, if you allow, the noise begins to settle. And what's left is a calm that doesn't need explanation. Silence is where wisdom grows. You begin to realize how often you speak just to be heard, or to avoid discomfort. You notice how many words come from fear, not clarity. You begin to choose your responses instead of reacting. Noble silence teaches restraint, not as repression, but as respect. Respect for the moment. Respect for others. And most importantly, respect for your own inner truth. You don't need a retreat to practice it. You can start today right where you are. Turn off the music for 5 minutes. Pause before responding to that message. Go for a silent walk. Let yourself sit without reaching for a distraction. Give yourself the gift of not filling every moment with sound. In that space, healing begins. You realize that not everything needs to be said. That peace often enters through the door that noise left open. That your worth isn't found in how loudly you speak, but how deeply you listen. Silence is not emptiness. It's presence. It's the sacred ground where clarity blooms. And once you taste it, you'll crave it more than any argument. In a world of endless talking, noble silence is a radical act. It reconnects you with yourself. It slows your reactions. It softens your heart. And it reminds you of this truth. When words fall away, the soul begins to speak. Now that you've explored these 7 Buddhist techniques, I want you to take a quiet moment. Close your eyes. Feel your breath. Let the silence settle. And realize this: peace was never far away. It wasn't locked inside a temple. It wasn't hidden in some distant future. It's been with you all along, in your breath, in your awareness, in your ability to return to now. Each of these practices, mindful breathing, walking meditation, loving kindness, non-attachment, impermanence, deep observation, and silence, are not just techniques. They are doorways. They open you back to yourself, to the version of you that isn't controlled by noise, fear, or the need to constantly prove something. To the part of you that knows how to be still, how to feel, how to love without gripping. You don't need to be perfect to begin. You just need to begin with intention. And as you walk through life, whether in joy or sorrow, carry these tools like sacred companions. Let them remind you again and again that you are not here to rush. You are here to awaken, to live with awareness, to live with presence, to live with peace that isn't borrowed from the world, but built from within. If this video touched something inside you, leave a comment below. Share how you're bringing more peace into your daily life. And if you want more spiritual guidance like this, remember to subscribe. Because the journey inward is always better when walked together.